What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Will, and this week have the fantastic second part of the two-part Bubba's Backyard Ultramarathon recap episode. This time, we're talking to the first and second overall Aaron Copeland and Lukas Janulaitis. Lukas came away with the overall win at 53 laps, and Aaron came in with the assist at 52 laps. They ran, I think, Lukas did 185 and a half miles, and Aaron did 3.5 less than that. So if my math is right, 182 miles. Absolutely insane. Pushed way past the course record. Both of them did, and really gave us a spectacle to behold. So I was going to put this all out as one big episode with the third and fourth place finishers as well. But unfortunately, the audio for Lucas's episode got a bit messed up, and so I had to put off putting this episode out. And I was going to put it out, last week or the week before once the audio got fixed. But I ended up having 4 residency interviews last week, which was an insane week, and I had 0 time to put towards the podcast. So hope you will all forgive me. This is but it's still great conversation, and we're still on our regularly scheduled podcast time. If you guys want to listen to the last episode, I think it's a good preamble to this one, so go listen to my episode with Katie and with Erica. We talk about their times coming in 3rd and 4th place, also incredible efforts. It was the last episode, and then this episode we'll talk to Lukas and Aaron. I'll keep this intro relatively brief, but before we get to the podcast, let me tell you about one of the sponsors for this week's episode. A new sponsor of mine. If you're watching the video version of the podcast, I'm wearing their stuff right now as I record this. Burgeon Outdoor. Burgeon is a local clothing company right out of Lincoln, New Hampshire. They stitch all their clothes right in Lincoln and Gorham. They're a fantastic local White Mountains brand. They make really high quality hiking, fast packing, even skiing gear too. I have been really digging their Alpha Direct hoodies recently. I've been using it for layering. It's a fantastic layer. Super warm, super lightweight, holds heat really well, as long as the whole thing with Alpha Direct is it's not very wind resistant. Wind cuts right through it, but as a layer, or as, a nighttime sleeping layer, it is fantastically warm and just incredibly lightweight. Their stuff is super high quality, so I recommend you go check them out. I'm wearing the Alpha Direct 90 hoodie right now, and I couldn't be more happy with it. If you want to go check them out, the link to their website is in the show notes, and yeah, please check them out. Burgeon Outdoor, great local company out of the White Mountains. And then let me tell you about another sponsor for this week's episode. That's Infinite Nutrition. Infinite, you guys know Infinite, total nutrition powder. You mix it right into your water for all your endurance, hydration, and nutrition needs. All you need to do, mix 1 serving of Infinite into your bottle every hour, and you're good to go, both hydration and nutrition. I use Infinite on all my big efforts because it is super simple, super customizable. I just like the simplicity of it, and it works really well. I used it a bunch at Tour de Jeans. I pretty much exclusively used it on both rounds of the long trail, and has worked really well for me. So if you want to go try out Infinite, head on over to their website, which is in the show notes. Use code From the Backcountry, all one word, for 15% off your entire order. That includes their custom mixes, includes their high fructose blends, their protein blends, their recovery blends, their standard Go Far blend, you name it. They've got a blend for it. Fantastic company. Go check them out. And we do have one more sponsor for this week. That is John G, but you'll hear about them later in the episode. And that's almost it. One more fun thing, guys. We've come to the end of the 5-star reviews. I'm finally caught up. I've got one more to read here, and then it's on you guys to give me a new batch. So let's see. The name of this review is Finally a Podcast That Gets It by Steep and Struggling. It says, I grew up in central New York and have lived all over the Northeast. I've hiked and ran in the Adirondacks and the Whites, but like a lot of people, I always used to look west for the, quote, big mountain and, quote, big adventures. From the Backcountry totally changed that for me. It's awesome to hear a podcast that highlights just how rugged the adventures here in the Northeast really are, whether it's in the Adirondacks, the White Mountains, Maine, or Vermont. It's refreshing to have something focus on our local trail running and through hiking scene. If you love the outdoors and want to be reminded of how wild and inspiring the Northeast can be, this is your podcast. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. That is an incredibly kind review. And guys, if you want your, 1 minute of fame, leave a 5-star review on Apple and type something out, and I'm obligated to read it. And that's it. I think the biggest thing also, if you have a friend who you think might enjoy the podcast, send them your favorite episode. I think that's the absolute biggest way you can help the podcast grow. I appreciate it a lot. And that's it. Also, I think I've said this before, but I'm doing all the episodes video now. So if you prefer video podcasts, listen to the show on Amazon. What am I talking about? Listen to the show on Spotify. It's on Spotify in video form. It's also on YouTube in video form. So go check that out. It might be hard to find me on YouTube because I have 0 subscribers, but it's there if you want it. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Aaron, Lucas, Katie, and Erica, thank you all so much for your time. This was a really fun project for me to put all this stuff together. Keep in mind, or looking forward, we've got Jeff Colt coming up on the podcast, and then towards the end of the year after that, we're going to do some Northeast Trail Running /FKT awards on the show. So look forward to all of that. And with that, guys, let's get to the episode. Peace. All right, here we are. Aaron Copeland, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Will. It's great.
No problem. So we're recording this, I guess, 2 weeks after the second day of Bubba's. How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling really good, honestly. I feel like my sleep and stuff is still coming around. Body feels pretty good. Feet were pretty destroyed and slightly frightening for a week, but they're coming around too. But I was a little worried about my feet for a few days, but no, I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a busy couple weeks, and I'm wishing I could have been out running more because I feel like I'm ready to get moving again.
That's fantastic. I mean, obviously, the having your feet be concerning isn't fun, but I'm glad that overall you're feeling like you're ready to get back out there. That's quick.
Yeah. I feel pretty good. Honestly, during the race, like my legs, by the end, my legs were toast. I had no energy left. My legs were beat up, but I didn't have like any real pains in my legs or pulled muscles or anything that had to recover. So anyway, the last couple weeks, I bounced back pretty fast.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So 52 hours, aka 52 yards, 182 miles. If I'm doing my math right, that means you went from 10 a.m. on Saturday to 2 p.m. on Monday.
Yeah.
You and Lucas both beat the previous course record that Ed had set at 45 laps.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick. How special is it for you to go beyond that course record?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine, honestly. I mean, I've kind of, been into this. This is my third year at Bubba's. I kind of got interested in ultra running, 5 years ago. I liked the thought of just kind of going until I couldn't go anymore. And that was like my whole goal. Even the last couple of years, I was a little disappointed because the last 2 years I kind of gave up at the very end. I didn't have much left in the tank. There wasn't a lot more that was going to happen, but I did kind of give in. And this year my goal was to not let that happen. But to be 52 hours was like beyond. I mean, that was like the maximum of what I thought was possible. My biggest goal I could come up with was 53 hours, just because I wanted to keep setting something beyond what I thought was possible. The first year I kind of thought 100 miles would be amazing, and of course at 105 miles my body just quit, my mind quit,
Mm.
and my wife was like, "I bet you if your goal was higher than 100 miles, you would have kept going." And so each year I've tried to set goals that are really high, and this year my maximum goal was 53, and of course that's about where I quit. So maybe next time I got to go higher. But yeah, I think your question was, what's it feel like, or how does it go to be beyond Ed's record? And it's really it's something I couldn't have imagined, honestly. It's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool to watch from an outsider
Yeah,
perspective. What's your athletic background? I know you mentioned getting into ultras about 5 years ago. Did you do?
yeah,
I'm interested. I'm talking to the
yeah,
four people who the top four at Bubba's, and I'm just interested what the through lines are. So what is
yeah.
your athletic background?
I played a lot of high school basketball and volleyball. I played a lot of pickup basketball through college. I got involved with a running group. I ended up going to school to be a physician assistant, and my first job as a PA was up in Lewiston, Maine. And
Nice.
one of the nurses at the hospital uh, said, "You should come to this running group. You should come to this running group." And finally, I went and did that. That was 2010. 2 years later, I ran a marathon.
Yep.
I ran the Philly Marathon in 2012. Then we got married, had kids, moved, and I didn't run for like the next 7 years. My cousin uh, told me in 2019 he was going to do a 100 miler, which I had never heard of, and I thought that was ridiculous. So I started looking into that in 2019. I started training a little bit so I could pace him. So that was the beginning of running for me, really. I ran a little bit 2010, 2012,
Hmm.
but then the last, 6 years, whatever, I've been running kind of more endurance stuff. I know I'm not a fast guy. I Some of my first longer kind of adventure runs and so on, I would try to do my birthday miles. So when I turned 38, I ran 38. When I turned 39, I ran 39. So that's always my birthday's in October. So that's been a goal of mine for Bubba's is like, all right, well, it's October. I got to do at least 43 this year. And then that turned into at least 43 hours, which we
Right. Right.
bypassed. We got past 43 hours. So that's my background. I enjoy it. I enjoy, like following Harvey Lewis and some, Courtney, and I've kind of gotten into following the ultra scene and UTMB and Western States, and I like watching all that stuff and paying attention to it, and it's just kind of people at work and stuff say, "What do you mean? 100 miles?" I said, "Well, if you, it's almost like if you read that stuff a lot, it doesn't sound crazy anymore, right? I mean, it's if you kind of pay attention to that a bunch, you see all these other people doing it. It's like, oh, yeah, there's other people doing it. It's not that wild."
Right.
And that's just kind of how it's come along. And I got excited about those distances, and then the whole format for the backyard is something that I thought I could do. So that's my
Yep.
background.
And is Bubba's sort of your main event? Would you
Yeah.
say? Okay.
Yeah, so I ran a 30K, or I ran a 50K, like I think just before COVID.
Hmm.
I did Chicora mountain race with White Mountain Endurance, and then the last couple of years I've done Bubba's. This year I was hoping to do some stuff in the spring. I wanted to do White Lakes, like 12-hour or 24-hour, because I thought that would be interesting. After Bubba's, is the focus is like go as long as you can and kind of preserve whatever, I really, my focus for Bubba's is always just trying to be consistent and focused and conserving my energy. And to think to go for a 12-hour or 24-hour race is different when you're going to try to hit that 12-hour mark and be spent.
Sure.
Anyway, I was hoping to do that this spring, but I had a couple injuries. So yeah, Bubba's is my only big run the last few years. I've done a penny loop. I've done some other stuff in the whites, but Bubba's is my race that I've been doing.
It's very cool. And this is your third time doing Bubba's, right?
Yeah, yeah. My
How far did?
first one was the wet year, the
Yep.
like 3 years ago. I did 105 miles. Last year I came in third at 39 hours. I think it was 136 miles.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
yeah.
So you've made big
Yep.
jumps every year.
Yeah. Yeah,
And do you,
yeah,
yeah, you mentioned earlier setting a bigger goal, but do you think setting a bigger goal has accounted for most of the gains, or are there logistical
yeah,
slash athletic things that you feel
yeah.
like you've improved on as well?
I mean, I think slowly I've built confidence, right? The first time I was there, I was, amazed that I could do 100 miles, right? That would have been all I could think of. But also, I felt like I didn't fit in with the crowd, or I wasn't, it's something I'd never done. And people are talking about, you're running on Bubba's, and people are talking about what project they did in the whites this year. And I'm like, man, I'm just a guy. Like, here I am with these people that are doing these big events and stuff. So, but each year, after being in the top 10 or whatever, you feel like you belong a little bit. So that gave me confidence. And then, honestly, the biggest thing I've realized this year after the race is how much, like, my crew has been consistent. My kids are into it. My son Henry, who's 12 this year, is like he made it into the post race podcast last year. Andrew was mentioning that he had a conversation with Henry, and anyway, so Henry's part of the game. My wife is in it. My cousin comes up from Philadelphia each year. So those things have been consistent through 3 years, and we've gotten better at that part of the game too.
Hmm.
The crewing, and I got last year I got more sleep than I got this year, but being able to come back and just lay down and fall asleep for 6 minutes is something that takes some practice. And
Yeah,
so
for
so
sure.
each year there's been gains, each year there's been bigger goals, but each year there's been probably multiple reasons that we've been able to achieve more as the crew is better and consistent. I've been able to be more confident. My training hasn't changed a lot this year. Training was tough because I was injured,
Hmm.
but keep going.
And you, in everyday life, are you still PA?
Yep, yep. I
Cool. What
work in orthopedics.
orthopedic? Sweet. I
Yep,
just I'm shocked by maybe it's just like I'm in med school, so
yeah,
I'm imagining something where there isn't anything, but I feel like yourself, Erica Notini,
yeah,
uh, if I'm remembering right, I think definitely Amber Constant too. She works in healthcare.
yeah.
If I'm remembering right, I think Tori Constantine does too. I just talked to a lot of people recently that do this ultra stuff and work in healthcare. Do you
Well,
have any idea of why that is?
I'm not sure if it's the healthcare part, but again, looking at like John Kelly, like being a lot of people that do well at this endurance stuff seem like they like like playing, or engineers and healthcare people that like kind of going to the edge a little bit, don't
Hmm.
mind the cerebral part of it. um that's what I would say. I don't know if it's the healthcare part, but it's definitely a problem that you're trying to solve.
For
um
sure.
and through some of the training for healthcare stuff, you've been through some hard days or something, which I think helps, that you can kind of push yourself a little bit when it's you've done some hard things in the past.
Totally. Okay, so one thing I've been asking everyone is what. So every year is special in its own way at Bubba's, but obviously
Yeah.
this year, I think 7 people made it to at least 140 miles or maybe
Wow.
it was like
Yeah.
seven people made it past 40 hours. I think was the thing I
Sounds
saw, which is
accurate.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I remember in 2021, I got fifth place. I think for like 105 miles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just grown so much since then. What do you
Yeah.
think accounts for, like, I know the weather was good, but I don't think that the weather accounts for how far this year went, at least
Yeah.
completely. Like, what do you think accounted for how special this year was?
I mean, I think the weather certainly has something to do with it. When you look back at whatever 2022, when we were slopping around in the mud, I mean,
Yeah.
that was really, really tough. So the weather has something to do with it. Um, that's a hard one. I think, yeah, I don't know, because for me, I was just going to go till I couldn't go any longer.
Hmm.
Um, it was a good group of people. The other thing, I talked with Ed. Ed was on the course a little bit, and I said to Ed, I said, the course was great this year because of the weather, because it's been such a dry year. I said to Ed, I said, this must have been crazy, 5, 6, 7 years ago when you were really just running through the woods and, in Bubba's backyard. And now it's like, it's padded down. It's a trail, there's been thousands
Sure.
and thousands of laps on it. So I think the course is better probably every year than it has been in years past. And I think that has to have something to do with it. The course was really good this year.
Yeah,
And and I think that's probably a big part for me.
totally. Were there any moments that you thought you were done but ended up not being done?
Honestly, no. And that's part of this game for me too, is that like I always said, and this was a thing from John Kelly at Barkley. He had said in one of his write-ups, he said one of his goals was never quit in camp. Like you can't sit there and quit. You got to go out on the next lap.
Mm,
And the last 2 years, I quit in camp, and I was disappointed in that. And I wanted to, go to the pain cave and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't struggle mentally. I was in the game. I was like focused. I didn't have any of those times where I was totally broken down. The first year with the rain, I definitely did. Last year, I had a couple ups and downs. This year, I was just kind of in it, focused on kind of finishing each lap and focused on the mission. I didn't have a lot of times where I thought, oh man, this is it, I'm done, until I really just ran out of gas.
sure. That's sick. Did you have any sleep deprivation problems the second night?
I didn't. I didn't.
Wow.
I don't know, man. So one is I am super caffeine sensitive. I
Mm,
I have avoided caffeine in my everyday life. Like 3 or 4 years ago, I was having these palpitations and we couldn't figure it out. I had like a medical workup, and then one day I ate a bunch of a chocolate bar, and the palpitations were terrible. So we decided I was off of caffeine. So I avoid caffeine a lot, and I took in a ton of caffeine the second night. I kind of I trusted my crew, my wife, my cousin, my mom, and they kind of were they were giving me a bunch of caffeine, and I just went with it. So I drank a lot more caffeine than I had, and honestly, I tried the ketone
yep.
shots, which I hadn't used those before. I got them a couple weeks before the race, and I tried them a couple days just to make sure I wasn't gonna have trouble. And I can't say they're magic, but I felt like a few times when I was starting to stumble or have a hard time focusing on the trail, I felt like the ketones helped out. So that's something I haven't explored much, but between the
Hmm.
caffeine, the ketones, and a couple minutes of shut eye, I didn't feel super like tired, or there were some times where the trail would be a little stumbly and stuff. I mean, I never fell down, which I fell down the last 2 years. I definitely fell this year. I caught myself on my poles a few times, but sometimes the trail would be tough and kind of again know I was getting tired, but I didn't struggle.
Sure. Wow. I haven't I haven't pulled the trigger yet on trying the ketone thing. I am skeptical, but I have
Yeah,
heard like I've just heard a lot of anecdotes about people swearing by it. So I
yeah.
should probably put my pride to the side and give it a go at some point.
I know. It was tough for me too. I kind of, yeah, like you don't like playing with that stuff too much, and but you listen to other podcasts and people that are trying them and doing it, and my wife kind of was like, if you're going for it this year, there's no, you better just, this is your chance. You're gonna do it, and
Yeah.
let's not, say, oh, I wish I had done something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I had 3 ketone shots, or I had 4 ketone shots sometime over those 52 hours. But I don't know.
Hmm.
I think it definitely brightened my mind a little bit.
It's fascinating.
Yeah,
And so what ended up being the thing that made you stop?
I just didn't have anything left. The last lap, a couple times they sent a chaperone out with me, so it was soon after. Maybe it was soon after Erica was out. They sent somebody out with uh, Katie and I both got somebody sent out with us. I was like, somebody's like, hey, do you mind if I come with you? I'm like, sure, yeah, no problem. And I'm like, wait. He's like, yeah, yeah. Andrew said we should come out with you. I was like, oh, okay. I look that bad, huh? So I had chaperoned a couple of times, and then there were like 3 or 4 laps where nobody came with me, and then on the 53rd lap they sent I think his name was Chris out with me. He's actually the guy that makes the axes and
Mm,
does the axe and the hatchet. They sent him out with me, and then my wife kind of caught on after we did the sheep field, and um, I knew, I kind of know on my watch, right, what the pace needs to be and where you need to be at the halfway mark, and
right.
um, I try really hard to run the downhill, right, so the start finish line is high, so you got to kind of start each lap fast because you're going to have to climb back up to the start finish line. And I knew where that mark was. And at one point we were doing okay. I didn't have anything left in my legs, but we were doing okay going down the hill. And I said to my wife, I said, man, if we keep this up, we're going to make it back. And she was like, she said afterwards, she said, well, you said that to me. I was thinking, I can't believe it. If you can't, there's no way we're doing another one. But I just fell off. I just fell off pace. And I think we hit the halfway mark at 31 or 32 minutes. And if I wasn't hitting halfway by, 26, 28, I wasn't going to make it back. And
Gotcha.
soon after that, stuff started to fall apart. I got really dizzy at one point. I had to stop, and
Mm,
I was kind of felt like I was going to pass out. So
yeah,
um, I just ran out. I ran out of gas. I had nothing in the legs, and then and honestly, I think the heat was a big part of it that second day. I mean, it
sure.
was 80 some degrees, and then back in the woods there was no breeze, and some of those
Yeah,
places where there's like the old logging roads or whatever, it's just cooking, and
takes a lot out.
it was hitting me hard. It was a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you along the way notice any cracks in Lucas's armor? Like, were I because
Yeah.
I wasn't there on the last day, so I didn't get to
Yeah.
see either of you.
Not at all. I mean, and he's a outstanding athlete, right? I mean, you see what he's done at Bubba's in the past. You see that he's done Swiss Alps. He's done 71 hours or whatever at the last skier standing. So I knew he was there, and I knew he's good. Honestly, I never saw a crack in his armor because I never saw Lucas very much at all. I mean, you start at the start finish line and he would jog
Yeah,
down and I would try to get moving. But I was getting really stiff at the end and I had a hard time leaving the start finish line. So I never saw a crack in his armor because he was usually out of sight for me.
fair enough. Uh, okay, a couple of last questions here.
Yeah,
What do you think? This is sort of like a dual question, but what do you
yeah,
think is your max in this race, and also where do you see this race heading in the next couple of years? Like, do you think we're going to keep seeing
yeah.
big leaps, or do you think it's going to level out a bit?
I I think I mean I think it honestly, I think a lot of it's weather dependent. Being through a couple really tough years, or the rainy year, and then this year, I think it's certainly some of that's weather dependent. Um, no, I mean, even looking at bigs, looking at the other backyards or that are out there, people do more and more.
Right.
So I think that I don't think the record will stand for very long. I think people will do more. My limit for now is 52 hours. That's what it is for now. Um, I, I've sworn every year that I wasn't going to do it again, but I've sworn that again this year. Last year, after we finished, I had fallen asleep for a while. I got up and Danny was there and Mark was there, and they said, we're not doing this again. They said, next year we'll come back and sit around the campfire. We're going to have fun, but we're not doing this again. And then when Danny showed up to run a lap this year, I said, Danny, I didn't keep my promise, man. You're not running again this year, but here I am running again. But my limit for now is 52 laps. I probably could do more, like a better training year and so
Sure.
on. But it's a lot. It's a lot to do. My family, my family coming up from Pennsylvania, my wife. It takes a lot to do it, and I think 52 is where I'm going to stand for a while.
Nice. What are there any other efforts in the whites or in the area that excite you?
Honestly, I'm kind of new to it in a big way. I'd love to do. I think we might end up doing another Pemi loop. My cousin from Philadelphia, his buddy wants to do one, so we might do another Pemi loop. Um, I'm following, Andrew's challenges every month, and it's a couple hours for me to get up there, so I haven't done many of them, but I'd love to go up and just do some of that stuff. Um, that's the stuff that excites me. I'm interested in all of it. It's a kind of a challenge with time. Um, I'm interested in trying maybe the White Lakes 12-hour, 24-hour. I think that would be cool to do in the spring.
Very
Um,
cool.
See how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay, this is it. I know we're over time, but
You're
one thing I have wondered about is, I we in 2023, I got the
yeah.
assist to Ed,
Yep.
and this year you got the assist to Lucas. I'm just wondering, how that was a very difficult experience for me. I feel like, getting really close, but ending up ending up going home with the hatchet and not the
Yeah. Yeah.
ads.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
Yep.
do you feel about it? Do you feel fulfilled by the second place? Is there a part missing for you? How are you feeling about it
Oh,
mentally?
yeah. I mean, I'd love to have the axe, right? That would have been cool. Um, it's funny, my watch, I had trouble with my watch during the race, and so I joked with somebody. I said, "Well, now I got to win either an axe or a hatchet to prove I came because my Strava file's not going to be any good. So the only way I can prove I did it is if I win some hardware." So,
Nice.
um, man, I did everything I could, you know. I think Lucas is outstanding. There were a lot of good athletes there, a lot of people like Lucas that were gone from me forever. I didn't see them. I said to my wife at one point, or my cousin, I said, I'm gonna have to. Do I have to just keep going till all these people come back to me? Like I'm never gonna get to the front, right? How am I ever? I'm gonna have to, because in my mind, the only way I'm getting out is if I don't make it back. So I'm
Right.
just gonna get a little slower and a little slower. So these guys that are way up ahead of me, they got to get darn slow before I pass them all. And it turns out that not everybody quits because they were out at 50. They ran out of
Right.
time. So a
Yep.
bunch of those really good athletes dropped out ahead of me. But no, like you said, I never saw a crack in Lucas's armor. He looked great, and I'm satisfied with my hatchet. I'd love to have the axe, but I'm
Nice.
pretty satisfied. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Where can people follow your adventures? Instagram, Strava. Where can they find you?
Yeah. So I'm on Strava. Aaron Copeland on Strava, and Instagram. Aaron Copeland 603 on Instagram, and yeah, it's fun. It's been a wild ride. I'm hoping to be up there next year. If I'm not signed up, I'll be up there sitting around the campfire and doing some laps with people. But it's a cool event, and it's neat to be able to push yourself and kind of see where you come out. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a ton, Will. It's great to be on, and I like following your pod and see you in your next adventures too. It's good to see what everybody's doing.
I appreciate that, man. All right, we'll get back to the final part of the episode with Lukas Janulaitis in just a second. But first, let me tell you guys about the last sponsor for this episode, and that is Janji. Janji. Janji is a performance running and hiking clothing brand that makes absolutely fantastic stuff. I have been rocking their trail half tights and their AFO middle shorts for almost all of my runs. And the thing I really love about Janji is not only is their stuff super functional, but it's really high quality and looks really good too. Their half tights are really good looking half tights, and they have a bunch of pockets. They can hold things really comfortably. It's got a key fob or a key carabiner on one of the pockets. It holds phones really comfortably and doesn't bounce. Same with, they make their AFO middle shorts that have like 8 different pockets and that carries stuff really comfortably. If you need a little extra carrying capacity while you're out on the trail and want to have stuff easily accessible, go try out Janji. Right now, from now until December 1st, they've got their Black Friday sale going on, 15 to 30% off of their entire website. That's a steal for their stuff, so go check them out. Again, really great stuff. I've really enjoyed using their shorts and their half tights on all my runs recently. And when you go to their checkout, tell them we sent you. Hit podcast, say From the Backcountry sent you. It really helps the podcast to let them know. And that is it, guys. Let's continue the episode with Lukas Janulaitis. All right, here we are, Lukas Janulaitis. Welcome back to the podcast.
you so much. It's an honor to be here for sure.
Last time you were here because you had just won last skier standing, and now you're here because you just won Bubba's. How does it feel to be the first person to run the table on the never-ending ski/run the whites events?
I don't know, pretty cool, I think. So, I mean, I obviously wasn't really expecting to win last year standing, probably, but then once I did, and I was already signed up for Bubba's, I thought it was kind of a logical next step to kind of try to focus on both, in the same year. So, yeah, it feels great to actually pull it off.
How so how locked in? Well, we'll get there. First, I want to start with just so people are aware who maybe weren't following Bubba's, although I'm assuming most people listening to this were. 53 hours, 185 and a half miles means you started at 10 a.m. on Saturday and finished at 3 p.m. on Monday, approximately, which is insane. The previous course record was 45 laps, so you went past the course record by 8 hours, which is like, what, 30 miles? No, 36 miles, something like that.
But,
That's a, oh no, I can't do math. 28 miles. Yeah, that's more right. Okay. But how does it feel to go beyond, I feel like last year, like Danny's effort was incredible last year. I'm not taking anything at all away from that. But there was sort of still that specter of like Ed Clifford's course record. And, how did it feel to go beyond that and set a new course record?
oh, it felt great. I mean, I think a big thing that helped this year was definitely the course conditions. Like, there wasn't like any water anywhere on the course.
Yeah.
And also, like, the weather obviously was super hot. I mean, almost too hot, like during the day, to be honest. But
Yeah.
like the nights, I didn't even need like a long sleeve. It's like it was kind of
Wow.
crazy because usually like I got like cold at night, so it made it a little bit harder. But like this year, it's like I was almost looking forward to the nighttime when it was cooler.
Totally.
Yeah. So
I saw a lot of people out there were having trouble with even like the dust. People were having some
yeah.
lung problems. I know a lot of people had nosebleeds. Did you have any problems with the dryness?
Yeah, like I started, I mean, in the past two attempts at it, it was like I never took water with me, but like I noticed I was getting like a lot of dust in my mouth, so like I started taking a water bottle, with me
Mm,
on each lap, which I think helped just to like, wet my mouth, so things weren't getting too dry. So, but I
totally.
mean, also for hydration, but yeah.
Did it impact the way you raced at all? Like I could imagine maybe going out faster to try to stay ahead of the stampede for the sake of getting less dust, or did that play in at all to your strategy?
I don't think so. I mean, once it was down to like less people, I think it was less of a problem. But
Yeah.
yeah, probably not too much. I mean, I wasn't thinking about that. I gotta say, like, so paying attention to heart rate and stuff. So yeah,
And
so
there were a lot of people this year who went. Like the competition this year was pretty incredible. I think, if I'm remembering right, there were like 8 people who went at least 42 hours, and I think there were 3 of you who went past the old course record. You, Aaron, and Katie. I think. How? I mean, just speak a little bit to the competition and how you feel like people stepped up their games this year.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Katie did like amazing. Like she obviously, I know she was like a little sick, I think. So, and she pushed through a lot of low spots. So it was really amazing to see that. And actually to make it to, I think 48 hours. So um, yeah, I think she's definitely capable of more if in the right conditions. So excited to see that in the future. And then obviously Aaron really just put it all out there, which was awesome to see. I know yeah, he actually did better than me last year. So this year was kind of fun to be in the top two with him again. So, but he obviously is really strong and he did really well this year, obviously. So yeah,
Sure.
it's good to be with him.
What ultimately made you stop last year?
So I had like I pulled a thing on my quad. I don't know exactly what it was, like the side of my quad. Then it started affecting some knee pain. So
Mm,
um, I pushed through that for like maybe 5 to 10 laps or something, but then I just realized it wasn't going to be possible. I couldn't really run; I could only walk. So
sure.
um, this year I made a big like effort to uh, do like 2 to 3 minutes of stretching and rolling after every lap, or like right before I got out.
Yep.
And I think that really helped a lot.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
Yeah, walk me through what a lap looked like for you. You know, how much running were you doing? How much hiking were you doing? And then what did things look like in between laps?
yeah, I've tried to run like the smoother parts, and then I probably walked mostly uphills. Or, I mean like speed walked most of the uphills, and then more of the technical parts. But as far as pace, I don't think I did. I didn't do too many laps that were over 50 minutes. But I felt like maybe when it was really hot, I did some slower ones. But I think mainly my heart rate kind of allowed me to keep a faster pace and have more time to rest, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I probably averaged like 47 or something around that. But I think it's kind of good, like medium for rest and speed kind of. So.
That's pretty cool. Can you speak a little bit to rewinding a bit to last skier standing? How did last skier standing change your perception of what was possible at Bubba's?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely made going through the second night easier because, like, wow, it's like if I can go through a third night, like I can obviously do a second night.
Sure.
Obviously, it's like different. You're running and not skiing, and the big difference between last year standing in this in Bubba's is that like Bubba's you have to pay attention to every step, like or else you're gonna like, twist an ankle. So
Sure.
You have to be much more awake than you are for last year standing, if that makes sense. So it's more mentally, I guess, taxing. So maybe you do a little bit more caffeine, but other than that, I think effort level is similar, maybe. But yeah, that's the main thing that I found is that just like the mental fatigue difference. So like closing my eyes helped a lot after every lap and stuff. I don't know if I fell asleep, but just kind of resting them helped.
Sure. Yeah. No, that makes sense. And sorry, if you said this, I missed it. How long was your average lap?
I think like 47 minutes. I don't know exactly, but probably around that. Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Probably at night a little slower, and then
Sure.
yeah, daytime's faster. But yeah, that was kind of my. I didn't have a goal placed in mind. It's kind of just just base it off of my heart rate. Because I actually wore like a strap because I wanted like good data for like the first 24 hours just to see like how I was doing, and then once I got that, I could kind of like just gauge it off those first 24 laps and just finish up, I guess.
Gotcha.
The rest of it.
Yeah. But you didn't like you had a fairly big event in between last year standing and Bubba's. You ran the Swiss Alps 100 and came in 10th there, right? Going into the summer, like what was your, I guess, like was that the plan? Was the plan, Swiss Alps 100 and then Bubba's? Did you have other things that you were looking at? I guess we can start there.
Yeah, no, I mean, so I definitely wanted to do good at Swiss Alps 100 because it was like my third time running the 100-mile there, and I actually did improve like by 45 minutes, which was awesome. But I was also actually planning to do the Whites 100 that Run the Whites organized. So it was scheduled originally for the first week of September, so I thought it'd be enough time. But then I think it moved to the next week, so I thought it might be better just to back out and then wait for a different season, cause,
Sure.
just to kind of focus on Bubba's because I thought it'd be cool, to win both in the same year. So I tried to focus on that.
I remember when I got to Bubba's to start hanging out, Drummond told me that that you had dropped out of White's 100 specifically to be fresh for Bubba's, and that was a sign to me that you were there for blood.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, it just like doing it 2 times before, and like I just felt like I knew what to prepare for, and I knew I could do well. So
yeah. When was Swiss Alps 100?
August, like 10th or something.
Okay.
Of August,
Yeah. And did you feel fully recovered by the time Bubba's came around?
Yeah. I think it didn't take too long. after Swiss Alps for some reason. Like I kind of figured out how to recover maybe faster, like a lot of walking after. But yeah, I
Sure.
felt totally fine with those.
It's great.
Yeah.
So I'm asking everyone. There's been a big debate at Bubba's over the years about whether it's a hiker's race or a runner's race, and I'm interested what your take is on that.
Yeah, obviously, since it's like a shorter course than like the 4.16, it can definitely be like more of a hiker's race, depending on how much like rest you need, and what your lap time is. But I mean, I'd probably say that I'm more of a runner. I mean, I do like hiking, right? But I mean, I don't know what we call like the ultra running. Like, is it running? Is it hiking? But
Yeah, yeah.
I like to call it running, but sometimes we hike. But yeah, probably definitely good for both. I'd say. I mean, I don't know if we can call it one or the other, but yeah, just it's interesting to see how like different people perform because I know Danny right through hiked the PCT right last year before he won, so obviously it can be won by either type of person.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Danny seems kind of like the exception rather than the rule. Like I think you and Ed both do a lot of both and don't necessarily like fall into neatly into a like it just seems like you both do a lot of both hiking and walking. I'm pretty sure Danny did almost exclusively hiking, but it seems like a lot of people who go far tend to do a lot of both, I think which I think makes sense because you're mixing up the muscle groups and keeping taking time where you can and chilling out where you need to. It's very interesting. And so after Swiss Alps 100, what did your training look like to build up into Bubba shape?
Yeah, like a lot more flat running for sure to kind of get the repetition for flat running instead of like up and down. But yeah, I was able to get a few like good like volume runs, like I think up to like 4.5, 5 hours. So I think like volume wise, it was pretty good. I also did like some hill sprints, but yeah. So actually, just I started working with Coach Luke Nelson like right after Swiss Alps 100. So
Yep.
he definitely helped me a lot to get ready and kind of do like some muscular fatigue training. So and I definitely felt that like it helped a lot to like prevent fatigue in my legs for like, a lot longer than it used to be. So
Yeah, that's interesting though. Your longest training runs were in like the 4 or 5 hour range.
yeah, I mean, I did longer runs like in the earlier season, but
Sure.
I didn't want to do like too much in between because I think I was already like pretty well trained.
Yeah, yeah,
But typically, it's just like the specific training that I wanted to get into.
that makes sense. And so, um, the was last year? No, you did Bubba's. Is this your third Bubba's?
Yeah, the third one.
Third Bubba. Okay. And what's the progression been like? It was in terms of like laps.
Yeah, so I think first year was like that super muddy year that you did it too.
I remember.
And it was, like, yeah, 33 laps. Last year it was 37. Yeah, and with the injury, and then yeah, so this year was 53. So yeah, big jump from last year to this year. But
Yeah.
yeah, mainly just I think the stretching and rolling it helped a lot
That's
to
so.
stay loose. Yeah.
You think that's like the biggest innovation you've had from year to year is the stretching and rolling.
Well, I mean, not the biggest. I think I'm obviously probably fitter, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think it definitely helped with like keeping my muscles loose because like last year it was like my Achilles were both like killing me by the end, and it's like it's just everything was just hurting in my legs. But this year I could actually still like run like pretty well into like the 40s. So it was really good to feel that.
Wow. And so with the increased level of competition this year, do you think there were things other than the weather that could contribute to it going so far this year? Like, is it your sense that people are are using better strategy or taking the race more seriously, or do you think it's all just that, that it was dry? Because I have a hard time imagining it was just that it was drier than usual.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, people obviously, like, I think Katie was doing it for the second time, so she probably obviously learned a lot, and like Aaron as well. I think he did it like second or third time, but at least like for myself, like I definitely learned a lot, like from my past 2 attempts, and kind of just adding those like, little lessons learned and improvements helps a lot.
Yeah.
At least for me to get those extra laps.
Were there any moments in the race where you felt like you were close to being done?
I don't think so. So, like, maybe the first night, like, not that I was close to being done, but, I do like strategy where I try to take less caffeine the first night, so only like a little bit, like start with small doses. So, I mean, not that I was ever like close to being done, but, there was like lower spots and better spots. But yeah, on actually that Monday when it was super hot, like, and it was just me and Aaron. Is like that was probably like the hardest part for me. I tried to make it look okay, like everyone was saying, but I was like really struggling, especially the heat. And like I realized after that like I wasn't even sweating. I don't think on that Monday. So I don't know if I had like some sort of electrolyte imbalance or something, but like yeah, I was just really trying to make it to like when it was going to be cooler, like whatever 5 p.m. or something.
That's really you might be the only person that's been like hoping for a night 3 on a backyard ultra.
No, yeah, I just really because that heat was just so bad, and like I felt like the ice wasn't even doing much at that point. It was like I don't know. It's just I feel like the sleep deprivation obviously like doesn't help with temperature regulation as well. So it's like just a lot of things that weren't helping the cause.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I guess what do you look at as like the as the max as well as your max at this race? Like, do you think you were close to your limit? Do you think you could have gone through a full another full night? What do you like? What do you see as like? Obviously, you went far longer time wise at last year's standing. So what do you think is your limit at this kind of event?
Yeah, it's really hard to say. I mean, I don't want to say anything. I was just trying to make it to that night. I don't know if I could have made it through the night, depending on like how I would have recovered like from the heat and stuff. But yeah, it's hard to say. How long I could have went.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't really think about that at that point. So it's like I don't want to say something, but
No, it's very fair. It's so hard to tell. Like things change so rapidly in those races.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, because that morning, like I was still like feeling really good, but then as soon as like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, then it was really starting to like get me like in a bad way. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could still like run and kind of hike, but like it just got kind of a lot harder on each lap, and my legs started to get like a lot more stiff. So that also wasn't helping, but I guess.
So I guess I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but are you like now that you've won, are you satisfied? Like, are you satisfied with last year's standing and with Bubba's, or are you gonna come back to them?
I think I'm planning to come back to last year's standing. I don't know for Bubba's yet. I haven't decided.
Sure.
But I think it'd be cool to come back. But yeah, I'm not sure, to be quite honest. I'm still trying to like plan out my next season, so we'll see if I come back or not.
What would have to happen in your mind to make you feel like, okay, yeah, I wanna come back? Like what would the mindset, what would have to change from now to decision time to make you feel like you want to do it?
That's a tough question. I don't know. It'd be really awesome if Ed came back or something like that. But
That would be pretty sick.
yeah, or if you came back. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to fit in, like with next season stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, we'll see.
Do you have anything that you're thinking about for next season that you're willing to share publicly?
I don't know if I want to shoot too much. I guess let's see. I'm not like 100% yet. I don't want to like not like committed, but I guess I can share it. Maybe going for like a FKT
Yep.
attempt in the whites somewhere, like a longer effort. I was looking at the New Hampshire Appalachian Trail section, but yeah, we'll see. I think I'm more geared towards like the longer distance stuff.
Sure.
So I think that'd definitely be a cool one for me to try out.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah. But, yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
Sure. Fair. And okay, I've been sorry. There are a couple questions that I missed that I've been asking everyone. What do you do outside of like are you a full-time runner, or are you like what do you do outside of racing?
Like for work or?
Yeah, for work.
Yeah, so I'm an electrical engineer for Eversource.
Okay,
so
cool.
I work for like solar interconnections to the grid, studying them before they interconnect. So.
Oh, interesting. My brother works for a solar electrical. He's an electrical engineer as well, and he works for some sort of solar company in Maine. And they do. I think his job is very similar. The little bit I understand of like looking at how to store the electricity and then how to get the electricity from storage to the grid. Does that sound like kind of what you're doing?
Yeah. So we work with like developers to interconnect them and see if there's any upgrades that need to be completed before they can interconnect or something. So yeah, so I work with like the utility to kind of protect the grid from any like issues that could be caused from interconnections.
Very interesting.
So.
This is talking to all of you guys has just reaffirmed my belief that all distance runners are either like healthcare people or engineers. It's kind of interesting. There's so many that are like do you feel like you're sort of I feel like the engineers that I know, like the John Kellys, the Bill Tidds, are all like very meticulous planners and sort of have everything really figured out. Is that like, do you feel like that's the way you race?
Definitely, yeah. I think so. I obviously had a like nutrition plan that helps a lot, and I could kind of refine that. But yeah, the planning is kind of one of the things that you don't need to be physically stronger or mentally stronger, but if you just plan better, it can go a long way. So it's kind of a big factor in these longer distance events for sure. So
Yeah,
definitely good to know how to do it.
What did your nutrition strategy look like?
I mean, similar to like last year's standing, I guess it's like a lot of like potatoes, like Tailwind, Scratch, Morton. Like I actually like like vegan mac and cheese actually. So I did it like pretty much plant based. So and I figured out that it's pretty good for like a high calorie kind of bigger meal. So yeah, I mean a lot of different things, but like during the day probably less solid food, more liquids. But then when I could get bigger meals, then I'd try to get those in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. And what did your crew setup look like?
Oh yeah, so my mom and my sister did that. So they were awesome. They obviously they have experience from past events, so it was great to have them both. You get to kind of take breaks at night if they wanted to sleep. Yeah, no, it was great. I had a tent pretty close to the start finish, as you saw. So it was great. And I think like planning and packing, and, like, making all the food was definitely a lot easier. Just like from experience, like you can figure out what I need and what I don't need a lot easier. So that helped a lot as well.
Yeah, definitely. The more you do it, the easier the planning stage gets.
Oh yeah.
Did you? I didn't. I guess I didn't really. I mean, I knew you were good coming into this, but I didn't realize coming in until I got there and started talking to people that you were like everyone's heavy favorite. Did you know that when on race day?
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help in the Run the White's preview podcast. Like they all said I was a favorite, so it's like, no pressure, right? But but no, I mean, I try not to think about it. I just try to stay like in my head and just do what I can. But yeah, I mean, I felt like I could do well, but I obviously didn't know if I could win it.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of factors, obviously, and it's a lot less predictable than skiing because I think it's a lot. Running is more prone to like injury, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What's your hope? Say 3 years from now, I guess you're like a realistic hope for where this race could be in terms of the finishing times. Where do you think it could go?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it could definitely go through the third night with the right people for sure, in the right conditions, assuming it's not too wet or whatever. But yeah, right people. Like, I mean, like the world record is 114 hours or 119. But I know I was just watching the biker championship, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this course is definitely probably harder because there's like no road section like there is for bigger events at night. But it is a little shorter. So, I mean, yeah, that's probably third. I mean, fourth day is possible. Like, who knows with the right people? Right? So.
Sure. Do you see yourself trying one of those? I don't want to say bigger name because Bubba's Backyard Ultra is the biggest name backyard ultra on planet Earth. But like, do you see yourself trying, bigs or one of those?
It'd be cool to like try an official like the 4.16 event, but yeah, I'm still thinking it over if I really want to, commit to it or not, because it is a little bit different from like the mountain running that I enjoy. But
Yeah,
it'd be could see how far I could actually go on like an official distance one.
this has always been my struggle with this format. Like, I feel like, I mean, I guess I don't know the guys who I don't follow the scene very closely, so I don't know the guys who are winning like the world championships. But my hunch is that in order to be like the top of the world at this format, you probably have to pretty much commit to this format like most of the time, which would preclude doing lots of mountain running, which
Exactly,
would
yeah.
which would hurt my soul. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, from what I've seen, yeah. I mean, they usually just focus on this. I mean, there are some exceptions. I think I can't think of any names right now, but like, there's a few that like do both. Like, like Barkley, for instance. I think there's some do both. Not that they finish or anything, but they kind of participate in both and still do well. But I think it's definitely, if you want to do well, like for the average person, like I think you have to kind of focus on it.
Sure.
And you can't just like mix them together. It would be a little harder.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. Yeah. So, I guess anything else that I should mention. I mean, I don't know where your mind is at right now, but speaking of mixing the formats, have you heard about Eli Barakian's Mount Ascutney Vertical Backyard Ultra?
Yeah, I have. I actually am gonna help crew 2 friends at it. So
okay, very cool.
I have to be there. But yeah, I heard about it. Looks like a cool event for sure. So excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I'm sure it's a format that you would destroy if you decided to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather ski down than run down.
Pretty fair. Yeah, the downhill. I think that's going to be the limiting factor. People are just going to destroy their legs.
Yeah, and that one, there's like 2 options or something, like for the loops or one big one.
I went and ran the course the other day, and doing it's either 3 laps of a pretty steep rope tow line for each hour, or one lap where you go up the rope tow and then you sort of follow a not quite a steep ski trail. I think going up the rope tow 3 times per hour would be so miserable.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, it's interesting that there's like 2 options there.
Yeah. In any case, is there anything else you want to tell the people about your effort or about Bubba's in general?
No, yeah, I just want to, I guess, thank my crew again, and Luke Nelson for getting me prepared, and then obviously everyone at Run the Whites for putting on another awesome event. We really had a great time. And yeah, thanks for having me on. It's
Of
great.
course, thanks for coming on. Where can people follow your adventures?
Um, I guess Instagram or I mean on Strava as well. But yeah, I did one. I don't post too much on Instagram, but occasionally, stories and stuff. So
Yep.
so
Very
yeah,
cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks for your time and congratulations on a huge win at a great event.
appreciate it.
And
Yeah,
congrats on the double up of last year's standing in Bubba's. That's pretty incredible.
thanks so much.